Known as the Charles Kuralt of Kentucky, Byron Crawford is someone known to all of us through the pages of the Courier-Journal. Just think, though, if the day ever came around that Byron met a normal individual. My God, we wouldn't have anything to read for the next 6 weeks. He could no way, shape, or form. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the mic, none other than Byron Crawford.
Thank you, Jack. Well, you know, a few years ago, I thought I was pretty hot stuff, really. I had been on television at Channel 11, worked beside Milton for several years, and my family and I moved to Shelby County, where I could get advice from Dr. Kuhn more readily. That was before he ran off the bridge. One night we went to Pizza Hut, my 4 children and my wife and I had moved to the paper by this time, but I still had that aura about me. From having been on Channel 11 for several years, and I walked up to pay the bill, and the manager of the Pizza Hut came running up to me, and he said, "Aren't you Byron Crawford?" And I said, "Yes, sir, that's right." And he said, "You were on WHAS for several years." I said, "You're not on anymore." I said, "No, but I was there for several years." And he said, we thought you were. He said, "Your name came up the other day when we were having our Chamber of Commerce Christmas parade luncheon." And he said, "You were the Christmas parade committee is looking for a grand marshal for the parade." And he said, "I told them that you came in here sometime, and we wanted to ask you if you could see Milton Metz about being our grand marshal for this year." Been that way with me. Ladies and gentlemen, Milton Metz could have done almost anything that he had wanted to do besides broadcasting, and probably should have. I have observed Milton for several years, and I used to kind of make a study of Milton, his athletic prowess, his technical abilities, his voice quality. I think, and I really believe this, Milton, if you had wanted to, today you could have been a professional tennis umpire. I think if Milton had chosen, he could probably have gone to any major city in the United States and been a success in television repair work. He could have been a singer. I mean that, Milton. I've never told you this, but I'd rather hear you sing than eat. And I'm sure that others in the room who have heard you eat would agree with me. I met Milton Metz 18 years ago when I went to work at WHAS Radio as a newsman. And every time the April 3rd, 1974 tornado is mentioned, I see in my mind a scene from that night when I was sitting across the table from Milton and I was reading the news just as it came in on the phones. Milton was he had converted his show to just an information center for news about what had happened during the tornado. And I remembered and I noticed that Jane Marlowe Willis, who was at that time with the Meade County Messenger, is here tonight. And I'm sure that Jane remembers when she called and we were on the air and she told me that I believe it was 32 people were either missing or dead in Brandenburg, Jane. It's hard for a young news reporter to keep his composure when he is swept up and caught up in the events of the day as we were at that time. Milton Metz is the calm in the storm, ladies and gentlemen. He is Mr. Cool. He is, to me, always been one of the coolest guys in the room. And if you had to go into a crisis in broadcasting, you would want Milton Metz there with you. He was a comforting, stabilizing force to me as a young newscaster that night. He is unflappable. He is a gentleman and a gentleman, and he is a credit to the profession. And Milton, I am honored to be able to be here with you tonight and to say that publicly to these people. Thank you.